alignment, manifestation, synchronicity, dark night of the soul. What does it all mean? Is the woo sometimes a little too woo for you? Join me as I break it all down on Decoding the Woo Woo with Dana Sardano. Hi, my name is Dana Sardano, and this is Decoding the Woo Woo. Welcome, and thank you for joining me. Decoding the Woo Woo is a show that I created because I wanted to clarify some of the misconceptions of the spiritual community. And I wanted to break down some of the heady and esoteric concepts and really demystify the cryptic and magical nature of the woo. I wanted to remind all of us that the woo is you, that we are all spiritual beings and we are all here on earth having an experience to learn, to grow, to expand, to hopefully have joy and love in our hearts while doing so. And that's why I'm here. And I hope that that's why you're here too. So that's what we're doing in Decoding the Woo Woo. And again, thank you for joining me. Super excited, long time today. Super excited. Today we're talking about manifestation. You know, the word that falls out of everybody's lips, manifestation. I'm going to manifest a car, or manifest abundance, and manifest love. Everybody wants to manifest something. I want to break it down and talk about what manifestation is. Before I get into all that, I just want to remind everybody that there has been a lead up to where we are now. So if you have not yet tuned in, if this is your first time tuning in, it would behoove you to go back and check out the first handful of episodes. But if you're just tuning in now and you don't feel like going back, then all right, buckle up. We're talking manifestation. Okay. Firstly, most importantly, manifestation is not magic. It is not, I'm going to manifest a car and then all of a sudden it appears because I set the intention and I wanted it badly enough. That is not what manifestation is. I think people throw the word around a little bit too willy-nilly, and truly everything we do is manifestation. Everything we do, we are creating our experiences. We are creating our exterior world. We are creating everything in our sphere of influence based on our beliefs, which create our patterns. We are doing this. We are all master manifestors. Now, manifesting what you want is a whole different story, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, there are 3 steps to manifestation. I'm just going to come out of the gate with it. The first is set your intention. And it doesn't have to be with a crystal under the moonlight. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Set your intention. What do I want? Say it, speak it, know it, believe it. What do I want? The second part, here we go, is Dana with the work again. The second part is to clear out all obstacles and resistance so that, number 3, the opportunities come your way. Number 2 is the most important step. Because here's what happens. We say that we want something, right? I want to manifest abundance. I want to manifest a beautiful, loving relationship, right? We say what we want. And then some of us don't realize that there's actions that we have to take. Now, the action that we have to take can easily be confused with making it happen, right? For a long time, I spent almost a decade single, and just all I wanted was a relationship. All I wanted was somebody to value me, appreciate me, love me, all of these things. All I wanted. So I kept going out and doing the same thing, going to the same bars, going on the dating apps, doing all those things, dating the same type of guy, right? So I was trying to make happen what I wanted to happen. But what I wasn't doing was clearing out the resistance and clearing out the obstacles in order for opportunities to show up that I could say yes to. Because that's the beauty of being in the flow. That's the beauty of manifestation. It's the beauty of it because it happens with ease when we clear out the obstacles. So I'm going to really get into examples and really paint the picture for you, but I just want to table that for a second. I want to talk about my second favorite word in the woo-woo community, and that's alignment. And if you ever notice, I spell it with 4 I's because I have to include my eye roll, because everything is about alignment, 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 align my chakras. Everything is alignment. Yeah, I'm totally irreverent and I totally make fun. But alignment is a real thing. I mean, from the alignment of your spine, to the alignment in your car, to the alignment of the stars, to the alignment of your chakras, to aligning with the life that you desire. So alignment and manifestation are funny because they're like peanut butter and chocolate, like they just go together. You could have one without the other, but you don't have the full experience unless you combine them. When you want to manifest something that you truly desire, you have to align with the energy of that which you desire. Super out there, but let's just break it down. If I want a relationship, if I want to be with somebody who values me, who appreciates me, who loves me unconditionally, who accepts me for my quirks. Oh my God, the list goes on. If I want to be with that type of person, not only do I have to be that type of person, but I have to treat myself with the same reverence. Sometimes we miss that part. If I want a job that I enjoy, financial abundance, a job that pays me well, really what I want is freedom. I want joy. I want peace. So if I want joy, peace, and freedom, I am not going to align with that, whatever it looks like. In this case, it's the job, unless I find that in these moments in my life right now. So here's how I look at alignment. I look at alignment like those old school combination locks. You know, remember like back in the 80s, like the lock with the chain and had the plastic over it. Mine was like hot pink, like you put it around your bicycle, and it had like 6 numbers, and you had to, every number you had to align just perfectly so the lock would lock. So to unlock it, you had to do the number. So mine was, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So the 1 had to be perfectly aligned with the 1, and the 2 with the 2, and the 3, and so on and so forth. If 5 of my numbers were perfectly aligned and that 6th one was off, I was not opening that lock. I couldn't force it. I couldn't wish it open. I couldn't cajole it. I couldn't angrily push it. I couldn't do anything until I got that 6th piece. So what happens often with manifestation, with our misalignments with what we want, is we're doing the things. We're doing 5 of the 6 things, right? We are having our vision, having our intention. You know, I don't know if you remember, but back in the 90s, Rhonda Byrne came out with, the secret. And this was, the secret was falling out of everybody's mouth. The secret, and law of attraction and all of these things. And people were creating their vision boards, doing all of the things, all of the intention setting things, right? So of those 5 numbers, we've got the vision board, we've got the God box, we've got the setting the intention under the moonlight, we've got the, all of journaling, what we want, speaking it out. We've got all those things. But number 2 of my 3 steps of manifestation, clearing out the obstacles, when we miss that part, that 6th number is never going to align properly, because the energy of where we are will always belie what we say, what we want. So if I say I want a nurturing, loving relationship, but somewhere deep inside, I don't think I'm worthy of that. I may not consciously think that, but if I really do the excavation, and again, I talk about that all in the previous episodes, but if I really do that excavation, I realize that I don't believe I'm worthy of that. So everything that I say and that I'm doing and that I want, my energy belies that. So until I clear out that resistance, and until I clear out those obstacles, the opportunities for me to receive what I want aren't going to be able to get to me. And here's another thing. And another thing. But here's another thing. When we have these obstacles, when we have this resistant energy that is keeping us from that end game of what we want, we sometimes misconstrue the opportunities to clear it away as us not getting what we want. So if something is coming towards us that is unpleasant, we think that we're not manifesting what we want. But what we're doing is we're being gifted the opportunities to clear the energy so we could eventually get to what we want. So it takes patience, it takes faith, it takes perseverance, it takes commitment to self. It takes all of that. So sit tight. I'm going to tell you a story. So I talk about this ad nauseum. So I know that you likely already know this about me, but my 30s were rough. I just kept perpetuating the same pattern of meeting guys that were either abusive or neglectful, disinterested. I just couldn't figure out why I couldn't find somebody to love me in the way I wanted to love me. All I wanted was to settle down with a decent guy who loved and appreciated me. I did not yet understand that I dictated how that happened based on my beliefs about myself and my patterns and all those things. But at the time, that's all I wanted. So spent most of my 30s in this space of wanting this and not changing my behavior, not changing my beliefs, and keep having the same pattern. In 2007, I was so lonely and I was in such despair. And I was doing all the things, trying to meet a guy, but in such despair. I finally got a dog. I bought myself a Shih Tzu. Her name was Mia. I called her Princess Mia, Fluffy Pants. And I get this dog. And I live in a condo. I own a condo by the beach that I am not allowed to have dogs. So I kept her hidden and I had my whole thing. And then finally, within that year, I get busted and I start getting the letters. I had to make a choice. Do I give up this dog that I love so much? She saved my life. I mean, I felt unconditional love for the first time probably in my life. To give up this dog or to find another place to live. So in 2008, I sold my condo. I bought a little fixer-upper house in the same neighborhood. And Mia and we moved to this house. At the time, I had shifted my whole focus from, oh my God, I wish I could beat a guy, to moving into this house, decorating, oh my God, painting the walls. Oh my God, I did so much work on this house, buying the furniture, landscaping, window treatment, like the whole deal, right? So I'm doing this in the house and I was out of the going out circulation for like 6 months and I'm doing all this with the house. Little did I know, in hindsight, I understand it, but I shifted my entire energetic way of being by doing that. And by making the decision to commit to my family at the time, my dog. After I get settled in the house, I wound up going out into the dating scene again, immediately meet my girl's biological father, immediately get in a relationship there and wind up in the span of 2 years having 2 children. My relationship with him, because of the momentum of my energy, I might have shifted my attention, I might have shifted my energy, but I still had these beliefs about myself and got involved with a man that, we're not going to trash him, but let's just say that he didn't meet my needs, and the relationship ended rather quickly, and I had now 2 small children. But I was different. I was in this home. I had these beautiful children. Oh my God, talk about feeling unconditional love. My whole life changed when I had these children, and life was beautiful. Within that year, my father, who I had been estranged from, showed up after 25 years, and I forgave him. Another layer of my heart opening, another layer of clearing out the obstacles and clearing out that resistant energy that's keeping me from what I truly desire. And within the year after I forgave my father and started developing and nurturing that relationship, I met my schmoopy. I met Rob. And with a year or two, he and I got married. And there are so many other pieces because life is a constant evolution, constant growth and expansion. But, falling out with my mother and leaving my job and all of these things. But what got me to the point where I married my husband was me clearing out the dense energy clearing out those. When I forgave my father, I cleared a whole level of beliefs and patterns that allowed me to be with a man that I was now aligned with, that now was in alignment with my own self-worth and my own unconditional love, my all of these feelings that allowed him to come into the picture. Yada, yada, yada. Within a year, he adopted my children. Yada, yada, yada. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary. So the point that I'm trying to make is, oh my God, there's so many points here. Sit tight, get a notebook. But the point that I'm trying to make here is when we want to manifest something, it doesn't always show up immediately. And very often we get discouraged. Very often we think that what we're doing isn't working because yucky stuff is coming our way. But if you watch the last episode, we have to dig through the pile of shit to retrieve that pony. And it's the same idea. We are constantly aligning with the energetic frequency that is on the same frequency with us. So when we want to manifest something of a frequency that's over here, we have to, through the steps, get ourselves to that frequency, and that thing will show up. Now, it doesn't always show up exactly as you envisioned it. I could never have envisioned Rob. I could never have envisioned my children. But what I did know is I wanted somebody to appreciate me, to love me, to see me, to accept me. Once I had the children, I wanted somebody to embrace my children. I wanted to live in a home of love and joy and peace and freedom. I didn't twitch my nose and it happened. It took me almost a decade to grow there. I had to grow there. Make sense? So just to bring it full circle, manifestation is not magic. It's creation. And if you've watched any of my episodes, we are the creators of our experience. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And when we realize that about ourselves, oh my God, everything changes. And when we realize that as the things come our way, anything that comes into our sphere of influence, it's because it's necessary for us to get to that place where we want to go. So I wanted to have this beautiful family. I had to move. This was just my circumstance. This is personal to me. But I had to move. I had to face my demons with my mother. I had to reconcile with my father. I had to stand up for myself and what was in my best and highest good when it came to my girl's birth father. Just give you a little side note, and I know I'm giving you my personal story in pieces, but when I was with the girl's biological father, and he was doing things that were not in alignment with my integrity, let's just put it that way. And they were very hurtful and very painful. And I had two small children. When our relationship ended, I had a daughter who was 1.5 years and another one that was like 6 months old, or 5 months old. And when I was pregnant with the second one is when I began to really, truly learn the depths of what I was dealing with. And I understood that I was going to stay until the baby was born because she had a congenital heart defect. And I had to see what that was all about, make sure that she was well. It was pretty dramatic, pretty tragic. And then within 5 months, after I had her, I cried every day for 5 months. The doctors tried to give me pills for postpartum. I knew what I had to do because my soul was telling me this is not right. But my beliefs were, how do you have two children without a father? How do you do that? Like all of those things, what would my friends say? And how could you do that? And all of these things. And I had to be true to what was in my best interest as a human being, what I could live with, because I knew that the only way I could properly care for my children is if I was well, happy, and whole, and I had to make those difficult decisions. At the time, I did not understand that by doing that, by releasing what no longer served me, but what was toxic and not good for me, I left my energetic field open for what I wanted. And that's clearing out the obstacles. Make sense? And just for clarity, to bring it home with alignment, we align with what we are. Yes, we could raise our vibration and do feel good things and then align with what we want, but it's momentary unless we clear out, again, my last episode, the pile of shit to stay there and to continue to align with what we want. You ready? I'm going to read something to you. So as you know, again, if you've been watching, I created this beautiful deck. Oh, that's one of my favorites. Oh, that's Pearl. But this beautiful deck of Soul Traveler cards with my artwork and my dear friend. I love her so much. My dear friend, Anne-Marie Scordy, her channeled messages. And I pulled this one for you today. This is Dot. Dot is actually, because she's cut, she's actually long, so her hair goes all the way down. She's her original dimensions are 15 by 30. She's one of my original Ubuntu girls. I love her. I love her. The message is perseverance. Your freedom is within your reach. It is up to you. You hold the power. You stop yourself. Only you stop yourself from your desires. This is a monumental realization and very difficult to integrate into the established pattern of thinking. However, with effort, this will become understood. It is truly the acceptance of a new philosophy of life. This can be tedious at times. It is not an overnight process, which causes many to abandon the effort. Faith is required. Dedication to the belief in the self is the impetus to persevere. For if you believe at the very heart of the matter, of all matters, lies the faith in oneself, then you will continue to persevere because the alternative will no longer be an option. I love this so much. Oh my God, I love this so much. When I was, again, single in my 30s, and going out, I had two friends, we used to go out all the time. And we'd always be like, boys are stupid, we can't meet boys. Like, we kept perpetuating that belief. But in real conversation, I would always say things like, there's no way I'm not going to meet a great guy. There's no way. And this is like, these were just conversations, just by averages. I've met so many awesome guys up until now, but for whatever reason, live in a different state, the timing was bad, they had another significant other, whatever it was. I know who I am, and I know I have the ability, I have a lot going for me to meet somebody. So if up until now I met a whole bunch of people, then chances are moving forward, I'm going to meet a whole bunch of people. But what I didn't understand was within me were the obstacles, was the resistant energy that was keeping me from that. Again, none of this was intentional. I'm looking back in hindsight. I'm so smart in hindsight. But what I realized is through my life experience, when every single time I committed to myself, every single time I said, wait a minute, this doesn't work for me and I deserve better. Every single time, because I'll tell you something, and then I will get off my soapbox, I promise. At the end of the day, our commitment to self, our showing love to ourselves in a variety of ways, but really just standing up for who we are and what our needs are and overcoming what is keeping us stuck. And every time we do that and find ourselves at a next level, and then we align with things that are at that next level, and we begin to manifest things slowly that we didn't even realize were right there. And then we continue to do this, and we dedicate to ourselves more. We align with a higher level even faster. We manifest even quicker. And then it starts to get easy, and then it starts to get fun. And then when the shitty stuff comes your way, you kind of you look at it like oh, what is this telling me? As opposed to, oh my God, my life is falling apart around me. Like, oh, if I got an ick here, there is a message in this ick. Oh, this person keeps showing up and I don't feel good about it. What are they trying to tell me? The art of manifestation through understanding our personal alignments, through understanding what keeps us stuck and what propels us forward, is the magic of why we're here as human beings. Really, really cool stuff. So, manifestation is not magic. Alignment is about being honest with ourselves and seeing where we're stuck, because the energy may belie what we say that we want, and really our willingness to look at that, and then watching ourselves navigate the world around us into beautiful, purpose-driven, fulfilling lives. So that's your homework. Your homework is to get out there, be aware of just the stimuli or the information that's coming your way, and how you can look at that, see where you're aligned, see where you're misaligned, do the little fixer-upper, and then switch it to get what you want. Manifestation ain't no magic. You got the power. So anyway, thank you. With that said, thank you for indulging me. Thank you for showing up again. I look forward to seeing you next time. And as always, Ubuntu.